Hey everybody, this is Bradley, your WSOS Scholar Mentor. We will be doing the Jumpstart Your Career workshop. So this workshop is tailored around ways to support you in getting career ready. We're going to learn effective ways to network and find opportunities that will increase the likelihood you land a job before you graduate or shortly after. I'm following along the template. I'm going to send you this template. It includes some important links and also can help you follow along. Includes valuable information. It's strongly encouraged that as scholars you don't wait till your senior year to start thinking about career opportunities, so you don't miss career building opportunities such as internships, projects that build skills and experiences, volunteering in relevant fields, and more, as we'll talk about in the workshop. Here's a fact. According to NerdWallet, the top two reasons students go to college are to increase earning potential, that is, to make more money and elevate job security. But it's surprising that many first, second, and third year college students don't look at their career plans. They kind of wait till your senior year to do all that, which, let me tell you, kind of makes your senior year super crazy, and also just kind of can add undue stress, anxiety, and just uncertainty for the road ahead. So if you do that now and start nailing down, okay, what do I want to do? What career? What do I need to do to get into that career? That's the best way to do it. So I like admonish that. Encourage, that is. So to land a career in your field, there's certain skills and experiences must have is relevant work experience. So that's kind of a key phrase that I'll be repeating, and that's something you'll hear a lot. The trick is, how do you gain relevant work experience when you're in school? Like, you haven't necessarily started working in that field, so how does that work? Well, first we can consider what your dream job is, what position or title it is, what employer or company you'd want to work for, what skills or experiences do you need to get those jobs with those employers. From there, we can narrow down, okay, what work experience or what experience can you do now to best prepare you for that? For example, you could look at a career you want to go into, like a certain job, let's say an engineering job, and you can look at maybe the application process for an engineer, and you can see certain qualifications like having 2 years of experience, or if it was a CS type of job, it could be being proficient with Java, C++, Python, and so. But yeah, those are just qualifications you can realize. Okay, I need this to be able to take those next steps in that career. So starting a running list of skills, experiences, technologies, certificates you'll need to land the job you want. This exercise is really eye-opening, and it's highly recommended to do every couple months. You can look what employers want, so you can know what you're missing and plan ahead by taking a different class that offers that skill, starting a project that will give you needed experience, volunteering somewhere with an opportunity to gain a skill or experience, researching the new technology, asking professors who you're doing research with. If you don't know what you're missing, you can't do anything about it. So that's important too, to kind of talk to mentors or people in the field, and they can kind of see where you're at, and it can tell you kind of where to go from there. That's super helpful. And the Skills That Shine program kind of specializes with that. So for second year students, if you haven't already, you can apply to be in the Skills That Shine program in the fall, and that will pair you with a mentor that help you kind of make sure you're on the right track. Sometimes, they'll show you their resume. You can also go over your resume with them. They can encourage different opportunities, even doing some shadow opportunities with them. All those things are important and worthwhile. I'm going to give you guys some examples of what relevant work experience look like. So list about 10 things. One is an internship, either paid or non-paid work experiences in a specific company, a part-time or full-time job, so paid work experience in a specific company, undergraduate research or laboratory experience in a specific field or general field. It is more about the skills and the topic. Like, I did research with hops, that's like for making beer, and I don't necessarily want to go into chemistry, but it was a valuable lab experience that'll help me take the next steps as I'm going towards medical school. And that's something I look for, to see that you know how to work in a lab when you're applying. So it doesn't have to be specific. If you want to do engineering in a certain field, you could do an engineering internship that's maybe not necessarily a topic that you want to go into in the future, or it doesn't necessarily, like, you can go into a different field than what you did research, but sometimes that experience is important. Having specific research is also good too, so it's not like that's wrong either. Another relevant work experience is doing projects, either like personal, group, club, or classroom projects. Um, these are great. You can show them off on your resume or LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn, is, by the way, is highly recommended by WSOS, and yeah, I encourage you guys all to make one. I had a friend that did a entrepreneur competition through Whitworth. It was like for local colleges around the area, and there's like a large sum of money for the group of students or individual that makes the best business plan, and they present it and it gets voted. But that's a good project that he can put. He was doing a it was called Brainy.io, and it was basically a better way for companies to do to see customer satisfaction. Um, yeah, and so I presented at CIRC for a couple my freshman year and senior year. So that's Spoken Interscholastic Research Conference. So you can do either independent research. Typically you have a professor sponsor you. For me, freshman year I did the malpractice of losing history, looking at like Timbuktu, and how a lot of libraries, and like just the idea that Timbuktu, along with other African empires, were kind of the advanced, or very advanced over top any place in the world at that time during like the Middle Ages, and how that is not necessarily shared, and because of loss of libraries and books, like sometimes we can lose that. That's just and I'm not a humanities major, but it was good to learn how to present, and my sponsor was Dr. Latoya Brackett, and I learned a lot from that, and that's a great experience, and it's kind of shows that you can go above just your typical classes, and put the effort in. Um, Here's like 5 more relevant work experiences: volunteering in a relevant field, doing observerships or job shadows, so spend time watching professionals do their work. Um, and yeah, for me, I have to do observation hours to go to medical school to become a doctor. Conferences, symposiums, and conventions, or more competitions, studying abroad. They highly encourage that. Um, and so the next step, though, is taking these experiences you do get and then putting them into a resume. And so I'm going to give you guys some tools to build an effective resume. Um, Definitely resumes are like essential to getting a job. Um, in the Word document I send you, I'll have some links to some sample resumes. Um, okay, so something that they really highly recommend is making sure you have your the most important stuff at the top of the resume. So like your relevant experience section should be at the front. Um, the second thing is that when you're describing your experience, that you used a strong action verb like programmed, developed, researched, designed, served, facilitated, and then you need to define or unpack those strong action verbs as small action steps. Um, So here's a couple, for example. Like if you didn't work in customer service, you could say provided service to 80 plus customers daily, established and maintained relations, took orders and received payments, crafted drinks, operated POC system, open and closed cafe, organized and clean workspace. Um, maybe if you worked for a computer company, you could say tested and debugged administrative software on a team of 4, performed usability test, documented and reported issues and success, program changes. Those two examples both include lots of like strong action verbs. And so that's essential, and it also it's very loaded, like it's very like it gives a big picture rather than kind of soft or passive verbs. Um, Here's some common errors that you got to make sure you don't make on your resume. Bad grammar and spelling. Make sure you get your resume reviewed by someone like your career advisor or in the career services uh, up the second floor of the hub. They can help with that too. I'd have a professor, I'd have a mentor, I'd have peers look it over and make sure that it's flawless as far as grammar, spelling, and clear. Make sure it's specific. Like don't put vague experiences. Really like be specific of what you did. Like use with numbers, names of technology and tools. So when I did research, Dr. Brino, I worked with HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography, and I could just abbreviate that if I'm applying to a lab position. But that's specific skills that I learned. That's good rather than just I worked with lab equipment or something. Make sure you have all the key information, like your contact information. If you have a LinkedIn profile, that's important. Um, uh, Avoid putting too much color, like color, or too colorful, or too if it's too busy. Like having white space or like a resume is not a bad thing. Like it's kind of encouraged, helps like the resume breathe. Um, don't use summary or objective statements. Um, Use accomplishments or qualifications and or skills as you see on the sample resumes. Make sure you list tangible skills rather than attributes. Don't say things like good communicator, punctual, flexible, hard worker. Like those are things that are kind of subjective that like they could be true, but it's better that you put down your skills that verify those things, those adjectives, rather than just listing them off. Um, I know some of you guys have worked on have your resume. Um, Here's some resources to where you can find relevant work experience, looking at job boards, career fairs, campus clubs and organizations, research and lab teams on campus and local institutes, community you live in, connections you have in the field, career center on campus. Um, yeah, and it's important to take advantage of career centers. Their sole purpose is to help scholars with career development. You can explore careers, finding jobs, internships, research opportunities, writing resumes, CVs, cover letters, mock interviewing, and negotiating salary. With the pre-med department, I'm going to do some mock interviews before I apply to medical school and do my interviews there. That's going to be very helpful. Networking, that's important. So the take-home messages is 1, you need relevant work experience to land the career you want. 2, get your resume reviewed at the Career Center on campus and see what else they can offer you. 3, always network. Be ready to meet your skills and shine mentor in October for those who are second-year students. Um, and yeah, if you guys ever have any questions about WSOS things this summer, or about this video or the documents, any feel free to ask me. Make sure you guys renew your scholarship if you haven't. That's you have to do that before June 30th. There's a link to that on this attachment I'll be sending you. And so yeah, I hope you guys are have a good rest of your summer, and thanks for letting me be your mentor this year. Cheers.